So today we're looking at Will Smith. He's known by his stage name, The Fresh Prince. He's an American actor, rapper, and film producer. Noted for his groundbreaking work in music, television, and film, he has received various accolades, including an Academy Award, British Academy Film Award, Golden Globe, Screen Actors Guild, 4 Grammys. I guess the Oscar is still in question.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this. Rappers are up here, but this is so authors are more like this, right? Here we go.
This book doesn't waste any time.
Right.
I mean, you don't waste any time.
Yeah, page 1.
Okay,
chapter
here we go.
1, line
Chapter
1.
Let me just read this bit. What you have come
If
to
you can't see
understand
the
is
FE
Will Smith,
right off the bat.
the alien annihilating MC, the bigger-than-life movie star, is largely a construction, a carefully crafted and honed character designed to protect myself, to hide myself from the world, to hide the coward. The coward.
Yeah.
I would have never picked that word with you.
Right. You know, it's you know, in that same chapter, I talk about the idea. My father was abusive with my mother, and I was probably 9, and I watched my father beat up my mother, and I was too scared to do anything. And just on my young mind, it became imprinted. You know, it's like, what kind of kid stands there and lets somebody hit their mother and they don't do anything? You know, and, you know, that became really the core trauma of my childhood, that my personality and my persona became to form around, to be the opposite of that.
Yeah.
You know, that I was never going to be scared again. And, you know, what was
Maybe we should
really
pause it there.
difficult for
Okay,
me.
go ahead.
It makes a lot of sense.
Uh-huh.
you
In
know,
what way?
Regarding recent events, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. This is going to be a good one, and it's quite an obvious one for me.
Well, I think it's the FE is very obvious. I mean, just the way he hugged her, he was just like, oh, thank you so much for doing this. It's this very, I always say like a warmth, because that's kind of how, from my perspective, this is how I perceive the FE. It's very, obviously outwardly expressive in this very warm and kind of caring and comforting sort of way,
Okay, so I can hear everyone saying, Dad, we're wrong, he's an ENFP, because that's
Yeah.
what people vote him as. Right.
Right.
So, the way he speaks, I could understand why someone would say that he's an FI. Just watching that last 1 minute, it makes a lot of sense, right? But why is he not an FI when he seems to, be easily confused for being an FI with the way he speaks? I mean, I can see why he's an FI. I mean, I can see why people would say FI. Because he's just come in very strong there. He's like, he's coming at it from this like, oh, ethics, what kind of kid watches, doesn't do anything. I mean, obviously, like, he's just a kid, right? But,
Right.
But it's like he had decided at that point that, well, I mean, he said it himself, didn't he? A lot of people would say, oh, he's FI, because he's got that kind of, let's say, oh, that's ethics, that's like,
Yeah, but
that values and very strong FI, the way he speaks about feelings, right?
yes, but how old is he, and how long did it take him to come to that? That's the thing. Like he's saying, this is kind of, I've kind of hidden who I am, trying to figure it all out. I think, to me, it was something that he felt, but then had to think about for a long time to figure it out.
and this is where it kind of gets a bit complicated, I think, because
Yes.
a lot of people, they see FI as one thing, generically, and they see FE as the other, generically. Whereas, it's not always about the way you are, the way your functions manifest. It's like people get there in different ways, and they might say the same thing, right? So he says an introverted feeler might, just feel terrible about the whole thing and be like, no, never again, and then come at it from that feeling, introspective feeling kind of way. But he's not done that.
No,
He's
come
felt
at
it
and thought about
and then
it.
thought about it with TI.
Yes. Yes.
And it gets confusing sometimes when a TI does this. And I mean, Will Smith is a feeler, I mean, it's obvious.
Yes.
So he's coming at it from, oh, I didn't like that, and I decided that I would never do that again because I FE'd this thing, and then I TI'd this solution. And I guess because he's a feeler, people fall into the trap of, oh, he's an FI. And because he's very charismatic and energetic kind of person, people will think that he's an NE Dom when he's not.
No. I would float the idea out there that he said he kind of hid who he was for so long, and I would say it's probably because he wasn't sure who he was. So he was hiding until he could really spend time thinking about it and figure it all out, which, happens with age, with FETI, in many cases.
Yeah, I mean, just the way he speaks. He speaks like he's trying to discover himself.
Yes.
He's very inspirational to a lot of people, and this type really is. But FI tends to be a lot more self-aware to begin with, just sort of naturally.
Right, from an earlier age.
Right, let's continue then. 51, go.
My father's my hero. My father's the greatest person I've ever known.
In spite of the fact that he abused.
And that dichotomy breaks a young mind. It's like, how do you love somebody who did that?
Yeah.
That really just became the central core of the wound that I was overcoming throughout my childhood and then ultimately throughout my life. Will Smith is fantastic. Will Smith is happy all the time. Will Smith doesn't have any trauma in his past. Will Smith can endure anything. He can beat up aliens and save the world.
Will Smith can pretend.
I just got to the point in my life where I was like, Will Smith is great, but I'm ready to be me.
No, you know, like a lot of families, mine included, we talk about nothing.
Right.
It's all under everything.
Yes,
Anything
yeah.
up.
People come over. What's that hump in your rug? What's that? What's under there? No, it's fine. It's fine. Put something in front of it.
But you took the carpet. You shook it. You beat it with a broom. Like, you let it all.
He's just so effy.
There's got. I mean, is it
Yeah.
sort of weird that this book is now, your heart soul is now in people's hands,
All
people
right.
you don't even know, paging through it?
Okay,
So-
stop that.
Okay, so stop there. Okay, so what do you always tell me all the time when I say certain things? You say, "FI doesn't pretend." Don't you say that to me? Or "FI can't pretend." Don't you tell me that a lot?
Right, I think it's
Uh-huh.
difficult, yeah.
It's difficult to pretend because why?
Because it's sort of like it's diametrically opposing things, and
Right.
it's just like it just doesn't go.
Yeah. Whereas as an FE person, I think it's much easier to pretend.
Yes, I
It's
yeah,
not.
it's almost
It doesn't cause me as much
wing it.
stress. It doesn't cause me as much stress to pretend to be someone or to pretend to act like things are fine. Like it doesn't. upset me as greatly, I think. I mean, it can. It depends on the situation, but I know for you, you'll say, well, if I just can't pretend, and if I'm in a
Yeah.
mood, I might try to cover it up a bit, because for certain reasons, whereas if
Yeah, I
you're in
mean,
a mood,
I might as well. It depends.
yes, it does.
It's all circumstantial, but yeah. Sometimes, I mean, my type's probably pretty good at in regards to the FI people because we're like lower FI,
Yeah, probably the higher FI
but yeah, I just
pretends less.
once I'm once I'm once I'm set off, I'm just like there's just like just a bad taste in my mouth, and
Yes.
that's it. I'm salty.
All right, so we're going to stop it here, and then we're going to pull up another video that I think will help to show, because I think we've established he's very strong in FE. I mean, to me, it's his dominant function. So I think let's look at another video that will help to kind of cement his type more. I mean, you could say this is drama, but is it really? Like, I don't know. It's not. He actually enjoys the people, right?
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
So this is not me at all.
No.
I just be like, alright guys, I'm here.
He's gone. He just left. He just.
Oh, sorry. I just took a
Oh,
little
jeez.
nap.
Oh, sorry.
I figured while you were out there with them, I get a little shut eye. How you doing? Oh, good to see you. How are you? I'm sorry. We got little kids at home.
Okay, so we can stop it there.
Christmas in your
I just wanted to show that beginning segment because, like I said, people can say that's being dramatic, but he's actually enjoying he's very charismatic in that people sort of way.
Yes, he's
You
out
know?
to, high five everyone,
Yeah,
include
I mean-
everyone.
Yeah, there is an element, I guess, of being if you want to say, people could say it's kind of manipulative, and it is in a way, but he really enjoys, I guess he knows how to work a crowd,
Yes,
from that place of like, he just really, I think he just enjoys people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm the opposite, because I would not. That's like that.
I mean-
This is like my worst nightmare. Okay, no.
I mean, we've seen people come into these interviews, and they just they'll acknowledge the interviewer, and then they kind of sit down and all. And for him, I mean, whenever we see this type come into the room, they never fail to acknowledge the audience
I know they just
in
light up,
some
don't
way
they?
or another. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So he's an FE Dom.
yep,
The way he speaks, he's very intuitive. He's very deep.
Mm-hmm.
If you compare him to The Rock, who we just did, you can see that they're very, very similar.
yes,
He's completely an ENFJ.
definitely.
We haven't done any other male ENFJs other than The Rock, have we?
No, yes, we have. We did
Okay.
Mel Gibson. We
Oh, yeah.
did Roger Moore.
Roger Moore, yeah.
Uh huh.
All these people are very similar. Will Smith is probably closest to The Rock, though. Go watch The Rock video and
Yes.
you will see the same kind of entrance like this. ENFJ.
Yes. Yep, ENFJ. So thanks for watching, and check out our type playlist. Like we said, we've typed other ENFJ males, and we will type more in the future, so you can look at them and see how they're similar, and even just see how they're a little bit different too, how they vary from individual to individual.
Okay, thank you.